This is the typical topical Afrotropical show with Cyrus The Virus and Mikey 8 Cents Media. The Afrotropical show meets Tim Pemberton. It's me, Cyrus The Virus. I'm here with the typical topical Afrotropical show, and I'm here talking to Mr. Tim Pemberton, manager editor of the BBC Bristol. And just like to ask you, Tim, about your journey and what got you involved in radio and what inspired you.
Always loved radio. Always loved radio. And I'm one of 10 children. My dad was a minister, and I always say that when he read in the Bible that you should go forth and multiply and replenish the earth, he took it very personally and made his contribution. But it was a really strict religious household, and one of the things that the church I go to, belong to still now, had was that they didn't believe in the television. It's a really strange thing. Television was this big sin. If you had a television in the house, somehow you were, not godly. So it meant I grew up without television and had radio. Radio was permitted. And I just loved listening to, in those days, Pirate was Radio Caroline. I used to listen to Luxembourg. But I also used to listen to Radio 4, which at that time was the home service, and just loved the range of programs there, the imagination, the wit, the characters. It was just fantastic, and that's what really started my interest in radio.
So you're interested. So what you've reached the giddy heights of manager editor.
Giddy heights, yes. Giddy heights.
Well, did you come in as a presenter first, or from university?
No. Actually, what happened was growing up, two of my brothers were in the Royal Air Force, and I went to see them doing shows on BFBS, which is British Forces Broadcasting Service. So you'll know it. So seeing them doing some shows really inspired me, seeing them through the glass. But my brothers did shows on BFBS, and then when I went to university, they had student radio, and it was like some sort of mystical sect to try and get into student radio. But eventually, after the first year, I managed to penetrate the inner circle and managed to get myself a soul show on there, and played lots of soul music and enjoyed it immensely. I wasn't a very good presenter. I just liked the music. As my friends told me, Tim, you're not a very good presenter. But then when I finished, I was talking to the careers advisor, saying I really like radio. I'd love to get into the business. And the careers advisor said to me, "Oh, you can try and get into the BBC. You'll never make it." And that's like a red rag to a bull, you'll never make it. So I started furiously after I finished my degree applying to the BBC. Must have had 20-odd rejection letters saying, not you. Had the odd invite to interview, still didn't get anywhere. And then I started to work for a video production company in Handsworth in Birmingham. And that was trying to get young people placements with media organisations. And it was through doing that and a college course that we put the youngsters onto, that one day someone said, these youngsters you're working with, it's great, like the work that you're doing. In reality, what we'd like is someone like you. So I applied again for a traineeship, which was for a 2-year traineeship, and they accepted me, but I paused because it meant taking a pay cut in terms of what I was earning at the time. But I took a long-term view and thought that strategically, even though it meant a pay cut, so there was a bit of short-term pain, I thought longer term that was going to be in my interests. And so having done that, I got on. I did my 2 years going around different departments. Then I became a producer in Wales, at BBC Radio Wales. And then I went and worked in Manchester after that for 8 years, and then, became an editor at that point.
Can I ask Tim, that's interesting, and you've done this all as being a black man. How did you find that within I'd say a British institution that is often associated with bowler hats and
the BBC and bowler hats? I don't pretend that it's easy. Getting into broadcasting isn't easy, full stop. Whether you're black, white, red, brown, male, female, whatever shape, size you are, it's not an easy business. It's very competitive. But if you are a black person, you're aware that there is a certain sense of, I hope he's not just making up the numbers. And I have to say that irritated me greatly, the idea that I would be making up the numbers. That's not something that you assume of anybody else. Why would you assume it of a black person? And the other thing that I always think is that, you know, the industry is better for the broadest range of people in it than not. If you just have a whole set of middle-class white people running the organisation, that's not the best for the organisation. It's better for having, as I say, black, white, red, brown, you know, male, female, you know, the whole range of people. It's better as an organisation for that because it will reflect life better, and there'll be a richness of experience that all those people bring that will be helpful. So when I came into the BBC, I was acutely aware I'm a black person, very proud of it as it happens, but tried not to be defined by that, and always try to let my work do the talking. I always say to myself, just be good. You know, it's like that Nike thing, just do it. I say, just be good, because nobody can argue with the fact that you're good. If you're good, you're good, you're good.
So, saying that, all right, you're good, do you, and you have gone up to that, rose to the top, do you feel sometimes now you could be curtailed because you've actually got to the top in the sense of maybe an idea that you have, or programming sense?
One of the strengths of the BBC is a rich playground. If you're a creative person and you're an ambitious person and you've got ideas and talent, the BBC is the place for you, and it can develop you and it can help you. And I'm eternally grateful for the BBC giving me the opportunity that it has. I also say on the other side that the BBC doesn't define me, and it is not the totality of who I am as a person. I've got a lot of interests outside of the BBC. I've got a lot of great friends. I've got lots of things that float my boat outside of broadcasting.
What floats your boat, Mr. Pemberton?
What blows my boat? Tottenham Hotspur, what a team. Poetry. I love travel, thanks to my wife who takes me all over the place. Love playing chess. Love reading poetry. I do a whole range of things. I'm very into church and thinking, actually. I think church and thinking go together, so that, you know, to live a conscious life rather than just going through the motions, and then, you know, you come to, you know, 70, 80, 90, and then you think, is that it? You know, actually, I want to be a bit more productive and to have a bit more purpose in what I'm doing.
Mr. Pemberton, thank you very much for the interview.
All right, thank you. That's a bit of a surprising ending.
This is the Typical Topical Afrotropical Show with Cyrus The Virus and Mikey 8 Cents Media. Afrotropical.co.uk, Facebook Afrotropical, YouTube.com/Afrotropical. These are the link to the greatest radio show on the face of this planet, 2011.